You're watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on. News 25 is brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law, voted best of Pahrump for 4 years. Give them a call, 775-727-9900. News 25 is also brought to you by Gunny's Air Conditioning and Heating, new, service, and repair. Call Gunny's, 775-727-6800.
Hello and welcome to this edition of News 25. I'm Unette Gentry. Thanks for joining us on Ace Country Radio, and we're also streaming at KPVM.TV. We're also on your Roku devices. It is Tuesday, May 13th. In our top story, President Donald Trump signs a new executive order ensuring that the U.S. in the next 30 days will align prescription drug prices to other developed countries.
President Donald Trump has signed a new executive order aimed at reducing the cost of prescription drugs for American consumers by aligning domestic prices with those paid in other developed countries. The executive order outlines a policy that would require drug makers to offer American patients the most favored nation price, which is the lowest price available in any economically comparable country.
So today Americans spend 70% more for prescription drugs than we spent in the year 2000. Think of that. Our country has the highest drug prices anywhere in the world by sometimes a factor of 5, 6, 7, 8 times. It's not like they're slightly higher. They're 6, 7, 8 times. There are even cases of 10 times higher. So that you go 10 times more expensive for the same drug, that's big numbers. Even though the United States is home to only 4% of the world's population, pharmaceutical companies make more than 2/3 of their profits in America. So think of that. With 4% of the population, the pharmaceutical companies make most of their money, most of their profits from America. That's not a good thing. Some prescription drug and pharmaceutical prices will be reduced almost immediately by 50 to 80 to 90%. Big Pharma will either abide by this principle voluntarily or will use the power of the federal government to ensure that we are paying the same price as other countries.
The Department of Health and Human Services is tasked with working alongside drug manufacturers to achieve these price targets within the next 30 days. If the industry fails to meet this deadline, the administration has outlined a set of aggressive fallback measures.
This is an extraordinary day. This is an issue that, I grew up in the Democratic Party, and every major Democratic leader for 20 years has been making this promise to the American people. This was the fulcrum of Bernie Sanders' runs for presidency, that he was going to eliminate this discrepancy between Europe and the United States. But as it turns out, none of them were doing it. It's one of these promises that politicians make to their constituents, knowing that they'll never have to do it. I'm just so grateful to be here today. I never thought that this would happen in my lifetime. I have a couple of kids who are Democrats, are big Bernie Sanders fans, and when I told them that this was going to happen, they had tears in their eyes, because they thought this is never going to happen in our lifetime, and we finally have a president who's willing to stand up for the American people.
The Department of Health and Human Services is directed to fund the publication of the executive order in the Federal Register. It will be implemented consistent with existing laws and subject to availability for other federal funding.
And turning back now to local news, a Pahrump man is arrested following a DUI accident involving a patrol vehicle.
A Pahrump man is now arrested following a police pursuit throughout town on May 8th at approximately 9 p.m. According to the arrest report, the incident began at approximately 9:11 p.m. when an NCSO deputy responded to a call from another deputy stating that he had just been struck by a white SUV at the intersection of Highway 160 and Basin Avenue. The suspect vehicle fled the scene, leaving the patrol vehicle damaged and undrivable. Deputies then intercepted the fleeing SUV on Highway 160 thanks to a citizen witness who followed the suspect vehicle and reported their location to dispatch. The suspect vehicle, identified as a white GMC SUV with visible damage and emitting sparks, refused to yield to emergency lights and sirens, prompting a pursuit for public safety. During the chase, the SUV veered off the road multiple times, striking roadside markers before coming to a stop at East Simpkins Road due to mechanical issues. The suspect then started the vehicle up and continued briefly before stopping again. The driver, reported to be highly intoxicated, was identified as 30-year-old Mariusz Hernick of Pahrump. Deputies reported that Hernick was uncooperative and showing signs of intoxication, including slurred speech, poor coordination, and difficulty understanding commands. A records check revealed that Hernick was actively wanted for a non-extraditable warrant out of Clark County, Nevada, due to a prior DUI offense. Additionally, authorities also noted that Hernick has a history of violent offenses in other states, including charges of domestic violence, strangulation, attempted homicide, arson, probation violations, and property crimes. Nevada Highway Patrol also responded to the original crash scene to complete an investigation. Hernick was transported to the Nye County Detention Center and booked without further incident. Hernick is facing charges of disobeying a police officer with a DUI, failure to render aid at a vehicle accident, failure to give information to an officer at a vehicle accident, reckless driving, failure to decrease speed at a red light, driving without a state driver's license, and duty to stop at the scene of an accident.
Clark County officials are urging motorists to plan for an upcoming closure along the 215 Beltway. Let's take a look at those traffic details.
The closure of the Clark County 215 Beltway will happen in both directions from Tropicana Avenue to Flamingo Road as crews work on the Peaceway Bridge over the freeway. Work is scheduled to begin at approximately 9 p.m. on Friday, May 16th, and will continue into Saturday, May 17th, lasting no more than 24 hours according to officials. Southbound lane reductions will extend as far north as Town Center Drive, while northbound reductions will start as far south as Sunset Road. Drivers are advised to expect delays and seek alternative routes. The recommended detour for northbound travel on the Beltway is to use Fort Apache Road to access CC 215 at Flamingo Road. For southbound travel, motorists should access the CC 215 at Tropicana Avenue. Regular project construction hours are generally 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. There are also 24-hour lane restrictions in place along Peaceway, one lane in each direction, due to roadwork construction. The $19.8 million Peaceway project is approaching its one-year mark after crews began construction in June 2024. Work is slated to be completed this summer, bringing a bridge to connect Fort Apache Road to Chessie Court, as well as sidewalk improvements and construction of a traffic signal at Hualapai Way and Peaceway.
Stick around. News 25 will be right back with much more local, national, and international news you can use. We'll be right back.
You're watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on.
Well, VGK plays Edmonton tomorrow in Las Vegas, and it is Game 5 because Edmonton is unfortunately up 3-1 in the series right now. Hopefully there won't be an elimination. Mikey Ruhan has that covered and more in sports.
Time now for your News 25 look at sports and streaming at KPVM.TV and now on Roku devices. Vegas Golden Knights, Edmonton Oilers, Game 4 in Edmonton. I'm not going to show you any highlights because the 51st date is really, really nasty. Here comes Evander Kane. I call him Evil Evander.
Watch Henrik first. Through the legs, snaps it up. And there's Kane over top of Hill, and Hill comes right there. Howden.
Oilers win Game 5, 3-0. They're up 3-1 in the series. Game 5 comes back to Vegas on Wednesday night. Puck drop 6:30. Las Vegas Aviators return home this evening to take on the El Paso Chihuahuas. Veteran quarterback Derek Carr, who suited up for the Raiders in 9 of his 11 years in the NFL, is calling it a career. Carr, 34, announced over the weekend that he will retire from football after finding that he suffered a labral tear and damage to his rotator cuff. Carr finishes his career with a 77-92 record as a starter, 4 Pro Bowl nods, and 1 postseason appearance. Let's take a look at some of his highlights as a Raider.
Touchdown! What a play on 4th down! Opens on 3rd. Carr, Adams, downfield. He's got it! Touchdown! Las Vegas! Carr with time, going for the end zone. It is caught by Mac Hollins for the touchdown. Carr looking for Adams. He's got a step. He's got the catch. He's got a touchdown. Carr, end zone. It is pulled.
And that's your look at sports on News 25.
Watch out there, Mikey. Well, the world's largest LED canopy screen is located in downtown Las Vegas. And our News 25 Las Vegas correspondent Maria Centers is joining us now with that feature.
Only here in Las Vegas do we have Viva Vision, which serves as the largest LED canopy screen in the world and recently got a $32 million revamp. The renovated screen encompasses 16.4 million dazzling pixels, is 1,370 feet long, 90 feet wide, and is suspended 90 feet above Fremont Street's bustling pedestrian mall that is lined by classic casinos and hotels. Now let's check out our original KPVM coverage. Known across the globe as one of the best free venues in the city, Viva Vision music light shows offer 3D graphical interpretation with spirited hits from leading artists. Opening at the top of each evening hour, the electrifying show combines high-energy visuals and concert-quality sound with top tunes that many sing along to. Each light show runs between 6 to 8 minutes from 6 p.m. until 2 a.m., while the Slotzilla zip line can soar enthusiasts 2 to 5 blocks above downtown Las Vegas. Forever Fremont Street. Reporting from lovely Las Vegas and shooting it back over the hump to pretty Pahrump, I'm Maria Centers for News 25.
And in today's health news, seed oils have been a hot topic online and with many nutritionists. And people say you should avoid them altogether. But before you clear out your cabinets, some say there's more to consider.
Today's health report is brought to you by Desert View Hospital. When you or a loved one needs medical attention, Desert View Hospital is ready to help. We've been providing friendly and compassionate care to our neighbors since 2006, including emergency services available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Visit desertviewhospital.com to learn more. With limited exceptions, physicians are not employees or agents of this hospital.
The bigger picture is looking where these seed oils are found. So a lot of products, if you're eating ultra-processed foods, that's when you want to pump the brakes. You want to eat less of those foods. So we don't want to target exactly the oil itself, but look at the food as a whole.
As a Cleveland Clinic registered dietitian, Teresa Uri explains, ultra-processed foods like chips and other prepackaged snacks often contain seed oils. Fried food are usually prepared with this type of oil as well. These processed foods typically have many added ingredients, which is why Yuri says it's not the seed oils that are necessarily making these foods unhealthy. When it comes to cooking at home, it's okay to use seed oils for sauteing veggies or creating another healthy meal. No matter what cooking oil you choose to use, Yuri says moderation is key.
It is a balance. You don't need to go on an oil cleanse and start tossing everything out in your pantry. Just try to incorporate healthy choices throughout your diet, and having small amounts is not a big deal.
Stick around. VEA is giving us some electrifying information right after this break.
You're watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on. News 25 is brought to you by Mountain West Lawyer, Injury Attorneys, 727-9500.
Welcome back to News 25. Well, it's time now to shine a light on electrical safety to continue to celebrate Electrical Safety Month this May. Valley Electric Association is here to share some crucial summer safety reminders.
This segment of News 25 is brought to you by Valley Electric and its family of companies focused on serving our members. We're better together.
It's time for some fun in the sun. As you and your family spend more time outdoors this summer, we're reminding you to stay safe. Planning a project for your home? When working outdoors, you may be using ladders, power tools, shovels, or even paintbrushes with extendable arms. These items are great for home improvement, but please keep safety in mind. Pay attention to where you place ladders or dig for fence posts. Before you start any project, always look up and be aware of overhead power lines. And don't forget about underground lines. If you plan to dig for any reason, dial 811 and know what's below. Exploring the great outdoors is a great way to spend time with the family, but keep these safety tips in mind. Kids should never climb trees near power lines. Always assume they are live and dangerous. Fly kites and remote control airplanes in large open areas like a park or a field, safely away from trees and overhead power lines. Planning to take a dip in the pool? Remember, electrical devices should be kept at least 10 feet away from water sources. Outdoor receptacles should be covered, and never swim when you hear thunder nearby. Speaking of thunder, summer storms can be dangerous if you're caught in the wrong place at the wrong time. If you find yourself outdoors during a storm, move toward a suitable shelter with covered sides and stick to low-lying ground if possible. So remember, when you're spending time outdoors this summer with your family, have some fun and keep safety in mind.
News 25 Weather Cam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
Let's take a look outside through our Lerner and Rowe weather cam at this beautiful view from Boca Park in Las Vegas near Summerlin. It is a gorgeous day and we do have some clouds in the area, and the wind was whipping through yesterday and this morning. A closer look at the forecast today.
Good evening, Nevada. My name is Roy Rosell, coming to you from the Channel 25 Weather Studios and taking a look at Nevada right now. Up in northern Nevada, Fernley is seeing 60 degrees, Fallon is seeing 61, Carson City is at 52, Tonopah is at 53, Goldfield is at 55, Beatty's at 67, Amargosa and Las Vegas are twinning today at 75 degrees, and Death Valley is 10 degrees higher at 85 degrees, but here in the beautiful Paradise of Pahrump, it's currently 73 degrees. The high today was 75 with partly cloudy skies. The wind was blowing south-southwest at 10 miles per hour. Humidity today was at 14%, and the sun rose this morning at 5:38 and is setting tonight at 7:41 p.m. The humidity raises up to 27% tonight, and the wind continues to blow north-northwest at 14 miles per hour. The low tonight is going to be 51 degrees. Let's take a look at our 7-day forecast. In the next 7 days, we are seeing pretty cool temperatures, and then it gets pretty hot next Tuesday. But tomorrow on Wednesday, it is going to be 78 degrees, 84 on Thursday, 85 on Saturday, back down to 82 on Sunday, back down to 82 on Saturday with 18-mile-per-hour wind speeds, 74 on Sunday, 80 on Monday, up to 87 next Tuesday. So we're continuing on with our roller coaster temperatures. That's going to be it. Back to the desk. Here's Unette.
Thanks so much, Rory, and we love this weather roller coaster. We'll appreciate these cool temps while we still have them. Well, that does it for this edition of News 25. I'm Unette Gentry, and from all of us here at KPVM and Ace Country Radio, thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see you on the air next newscast. Good night.